Hey, I think we're going. I think we're ready. There we go, finally. All right. Finally, we're ready to start. I've been on YouTube, or been on Facebook for several minutes. Now we're finally got YouTube to connect. So anyway, glad you guys are here and ready to go. We got a few guys been sitting over here on Facebook waiting patiently. Pete's here, Neil's on, Matt, Buick Man. Eric's here. Anyway, glad you guys all made it back, ready to go. Happy Father's Day to everyone. And I'm going to try to stay awake because we were just out at Mom and Dad's and had steaks tonight. So I've got to try to stay awake instead of dozing off because that sounds like a much better plan after eating a big dinner. Charles is here. John from Texas. Flooded San Antonio. That doesn't sound like any fun. There's David W. Jim's here. It only took 3 or 4 times to load tonight, which sometimes it's actually taken a few more than that. But yeah, it did take a bit tonight to get going. Waycamp's here with us. But anyway, we are live. We are going. We'll squeeze in a good show tonight. We're going to have some fun. Hope you guys are ready. We had twice baked potatoes, actually. Ron's here. Jeff from Ottawa. But, yeah. And then pie and everything else. So, yeah, I'm going to try to stay awake. If you see me nodding off, just don't worry about it. I'll catch you next week, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, real quick before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. Autocorrect, please double check autocorrect before you hit send. If I can't understand your comment, I'm going to have to skip it. There were a few of those last weekend that I couldn't even comprehend. There was one even on a super chat, and I didn't even get it. I was trying to scan it, trying to make something out of it. I couldn't understand it, and I skipped it. Even though it was a super chat, I still skipped it because it didn't make sense. I couldn't understand it, so I didn't know what it meant. And this is all happening within seconds. So Dad's here. Dad is here with us tonight. Joe's on with us. But anyway, Barn is here too. So please double check those comments. Man from the farm. Randy Weininger's here. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls. You guys make sure they know they are not welcome. You guys do a great job of that. And we've got some steps in place with some moderators and subscriber-only commenting that has helped. But we do occasionally still have one sneak in from time to time. You guys do a great job of letting them know they're making sure they know they're not welcome here, and we get rid of them. Ads, we are dealing with ads on YouTube. It is their game. There isn't anything we can do about it. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. If you just want to hang out there, you're great, but I can't see your comments. If you want to comment, participate in the auctions, anything like that, you will have to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Like I said, if you want to hang out there and watch, you're perfectly fine on the Nobody Show Facebook page. Just please be aware I cannot see your comments if you do comment. Super chats, as always, the Supercharged Super Chat badge is ready to go for any Super Chats that pop up. So anyway, been a crazy week to say the least. You guys saw some of the stuff from Pioneer Village. Let's get things rolling with a Hudson badge and then start getting into this week. First off, some sad news. Hey, there's Tractor Mike with us on Facebook tonight. A lot of you guys are familiar with, we had a viewer from Canada that sent us a lot of viewer boxes. Donated a lot of stuff for the show, donated a lot of stuff that went back out to you guys through bonus raffles and things like that. Pete got an email this week that that viewer has passed away. So that, that's definitely some sad news. Very, very supportive of what we did here. Obviously donated a lot of things. And so very, very sad to hear that. I never talked to him much. I talked to him once or twice. He would email me occasionally. And, you will usually find time to get back with him. It usually took a few days because I just don't check email that often. But, it's kind of sad to hear that. Hey, there's Kevin. And he wasn't that old of a guy, but he had some sort of one of those weird diseases that just a very debilitating, weird. I think it was a spinal type disease, and so yeah, that it kind of sucks. Even though he didn't participate in the chats a lot, he would send me a note occasionally, that he was watching and hanging out with us and happy to be part of us. And and a lot of the things that he donated over the past year was stuff that he was thinning down because he knew his health was declining. So it, like I said, it sucks. We've lost some great guys on here that have been part of the chat over the years. And even though this particular viewer wasn't active in the chats, he was actively watching and actively involved through his donations. And so it was very, very sad to hear that when they had contacted Pete that he had passed away. So anyway, we definitely want to remember him and everything he did for all of us. And in fact, I think when we do the drawing next week for the toy, we'll do some more bonus raffles out of next week for some more of the stuff that he donated. I think that's what he'd want. I always asked him, I said, you care if we pass some of this stuff on? He's like, great. He said, that's what it's for. So maybe we'll pass a few more pieces on that he donated next week when we do the drawing for the raffle. So if you guys are good with that, I think that would be a great thing to do. So anyway, just wanted to mention that to you. We lost Withrow a couple years ago. We've lost Alan NC, a few other guys who were regulars, and we've got some guys that I'm not sure what happened to. We've had some very, very supportive viewers over the years that just kind of fell off, and some of those guys were older, and you don't know what happened, so it's the nature of the beast when you do something like this. It's going to happen. We're going to lose friends and viewers, but on the other hand, you got to look at that to the flip side, that if we weren't doing this, we wouldn't have these friends that make this what it is. So I guess that's the best way to put it. Hey, there's Steve. So we'll do that next weekend in memory of him. And just wanted to let all you guys know that that was the deal. And he never wanted to be Falcon does still jump on once in a while. He had some other stuff that was all about a year ago. He called me and he said he had another meeting that was scheduled on Sunday nights. So he's popped in occasionally in and out when he has a few minutes, but his Sunday nights got tied up on some other stuff. But yeah, we do still hear from Falcon occasionally. So, but anyway, when I did, to talk to this viewer, like I said, he would send me a note that he was watching, and which I usually didn't see for several days, but I always try to get back with him. I always asked him about, what he was donating and how he wanted to handle it. So I think passing some more of that stuff on to you guys next week would be a great way to do it. So anyway, we'll go ahead and keep moving on, but I definitely wanted to bring that up so you guys were all aware of what happened. So, but yes, it is sad, and you hate it when it happens. But on the other hand, if we weren't doing this and we weren't, building this group of car friends, you could never build a group like this and never have guys come together and be supportive and be friends. Is the only way to avoid never losing anybody is never do it. So I guess that's the best way to put it. So anyway, we'll think about him, and we'll do some of that next week and honor him. How about that? Hey, there's Leo stopping in. Something else on another note, and obviously not nearly as close to us as what one of our regular viewers would be. But Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys also passed away this week. Because, who on here hasn't listened to Little Deuce Coupe about a million times? The Beach Boys, definitely one of the quintessential, obviously they were known as a surfing group, but also one of the quintessential hot rod and car groups of the 60s as well. So I did see that he passed away. So so that was something, like I said, that obviously not near like losing one of our guys, but out of our group, but definitely a somebody who was involved in the car culture and definitely affected, inspired probably all of us just by listening to those records. That's right, Jim. They did start it all. Yeah, and that's right. Another thing, Buick, man, they play it at every car show. So that's it's still literally played at every car show you go to. So the Beach Boys, that was an iconic part of that world for sure. But anyway, before we get too far into last week, a couple things I want to touch on. The Nobody Show training, you guys that are in that, Pete, Bill, Eric, we were definitely going to try to get together this week. I was out of town most of last week once again. So, guys, think about if we're going to go Thursday night again on the training class, or if there's a different night that works for you. We've been going Thursdays, and any of you other guys, if you want to get involved with it and join into that group, go ahead and upgrade your membership, or get a hold of me if you want to know what we do. I've got a whole file. Pete's good for Thursday. Sounds good. I'll start walking through our steps that we haven't even gotten to yet, because every time we get together, there's been so many questions about what's going on, which is fine, that we haven't even gotten into that yet. So, and once you're in the group, you can always go back and watch any of those other videos as well. That's a badge. Quick side note. Okay. Don't know what happened, Eric. Something popped up just a little bit ago that I thought was kind of weird under your name, Eric. Okay. Welcome to Nobody Premiere. Okay. You must have just jumped back in then. Okay. Maybe that was you jumping back in when I saw that pop up. I bet that's what it was. So hopefully you're good again. So we'll shoot for Thursday night, guys. Okay, perfect. Awesome. We'll shoot for Thursday night. So anyway, on a stupid side note, when I was working, hey, there's Dennis. When I was getting stuff ready last night, I had both my monitors up and I had YouTube up over here, and was just looking for something to watch. And Any Which Way But Loose popped up. I was like, oh, click, free with ads, Any Which Way But Loose. There's a lot of cool cars in that video, in that movie. I was surprised at how many cool cars and trucks were in that video. It is a classic, Man from the Farm. There is no doubt about that. Clyde is hilarious, and so it was great. So you might check that out. That did pop up last night, and I was kind of excited to watch it. So, but there is a lot of cool vehicles in that movie. So that was just a dumb side note I had to throw in there. I think some of that is on 2. That's right. Orville had a great tow truck, 55 Ford tow truck. I think that's in 2 because there was no right turn Clydes in the original, and the Volkswagen was not in there. So I think that must be 2. Great, John. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't know how you guys would take that or what you guys thought about kind of throwing something different in there with the AC/DC memorabilia for Toy Tuesday. But so I'm glad you guys did have fun with it, since it was something a little bit different and completely off course. But anyway, obviously, I did get to Pioneer Village this week. Had some other stuff going on in Nebraska, so we made a flying trip up there and got the vehicles taken care of. We threw some ideas up on some ideas to vote for, and I knew it was really last minute. I had Pete throw them up for me. I'm not an admin on the No Buddies page, and the way my phone is set up, believe it or not, guys, I don't have Facebook on my phone. If I hit the Facebook blue F, I get nothing because it's not set up. Hey, there's Gary. What I use is called Business Suite, and Business Suite allows me access to all the pages I'm an admin on. And that's all I need, because that does, that's everything I need to post on. So I don't have regular Facebook on my phone, so I can't get to the No Buddies page from my phone. So I sent that stuff to Pete that evening. He threw it up for us. Hey there, Steve. And got some feedback from you guys to get that 5th vehicle picked. So we've got a video coming up on that. We touched on the ones that we sponsored from last year, as well as show you the new one that was picked. So we'll try to get that one up. In fact, I may just throw that up for everybody just to get it out there. I've actually got so many videos in the can right now that I may just throw that one up. That, and there's another one that I may just throw up just to get them out there. So, but anyway, yeah, like I said, I've got Business Suite, so I can do what I need to do, but just normal Facebook don't even have it. If I'm not an admin on the page, I can't get to it. But you know how much time I spend scrolling through Facebook every day on my phone, just sitting here doing this? 0. That's how much time I spend doing that because it's not on my phone. Yeah, those old dealer training videos, sometimes those are pretty cool too. But anyway, Pioneer Village, lots of stuff going on. A lot of amazing changes happening. No, I never have done those, Joe. I really should get those turbo superchargers out and do something and do a video on them. And you're right, Joe. That's something we need to do. Just never have gotten to it. I should put that on my list of videos to do, which has already got about 20 videos on it. But you're right, Joe. That's something those are pretty cool. We need to do something with those. But what did I do while I was there? Obviously, okay, Matt's got something going up on the No Buddies page for Every Which Way But Loose. So we'll have to, I'm going to jump over there so I can check it here in a little bit. But what I did at Pioneer Village, and I think Austin threw, how many do I have? I think I've got 4 or 5 of them, Joe. They're not all the same, but I've got 4 for sure. I know I've got 4 of those aircraft turbo superchargers from World War II. I did sell one to Dennis Taylor a few years back. Hot Rods by Dennis Taylor. And I think I've got 4 left. I think I've still got 4. Hey, there's Kenny Peterson. But Austin threw a reel or shared a reel from the Pioneer Village page. Their carousel that was built in the late 1800s. It was shut down in 1907. That's when they stopped using it. It was in 1907. The museum bought it in 1955, and they restored it then and had it up and running around 1957. It was in use up until about 20 years ago, shortly after the turn of the century. It was a steam-powered carousel, and it has been sitting for all these years since then. When we were there this Thursday and Friday, they literally were to the point where the animals were going back on. So that was exciting. But so we did a lot with the carousel. Auburn Badge. Spent a lot of time on that. And then we, and also not only on the carousel, but we spent some time with the people that were restoring the animals. They have some animals that aren't done yet. They have multiple animals. They've got plenty to fill the carousel. But we saw the condition of some of these animals. And when I say the condition of some of these animals, if you're thinking about a carousel today, that stuff is all fiberglass molded stuff, you know, on this more modern type carousels. The animals are fiberglass or plastic, things like that. Every single one of these animals is hand-carved wood. And we saw some of the processes. We saw some of the animals they're still working on. We've got all that in the video, as well as talking to some of the volunteers that have been working on the carousel. Not only is the carousel restored, it has a brand new home. It is completely enclosed in a brand new enclosure that is temperature controlled. that has an HVAC system in it. So all this work is going to help preserve the carousel for years. And it is no longer steam powered. It is electric powered now. So should be good to go for generations. We also had this original steam engine is there still. And so we've got some of that in the video. And this thing, of course, this was big in the late 1800s. This thing would pass absolutely zero OSHA regulations. I mean, literally, this had a pulley that was this big that ran a steel cable like 20 feet over to the carousel to turn it. Not only that is like the pulley is like right here. This massive steel cable goes around, and right here over the other side of the massive steel pulley with the big, huge cable in it that is spinning, that's where your handbrake is at. So, you know, if the cable snaps and it's sitting there whipping, you just have to reach right over there and grab that handbrake and yank it back, right? No big deal. Minor detail. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I can't imagine the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours they have in these animals. This whole project. So we spent a ton of time on the carousel. So we've got a lot to work on that video. One other thing I did, the only other real major video I did was, we've touched on this before. I took this book with me. This book details tons of things that they bought in the 1950s for the collection. So what we did is I went through here looking for cars, and then we went and found the car and looked at the car while we read the letter. We've done a little bit of this before, but not quite to this extent. So I've got a lot of stuff, some really interesting things on cars, when they found them, where they found them, what they paid for them. You know, some of this stuff was dirt cheap in the 50s. Some of this stuff was pretty crazy money for the 50s, but it was insanely rare stuff. So we've got that video coming up. I did 14 shorts while I was there. So there's a lot of really cool shorts coming up. They're just, you know, quick snippets of just quick samples of what's there. Yeah, that same thing, Buick, man, probably right in that same time frame when they were both built. Kids in the 70s would still run it. Yeah, they probably did. So that was we were there part of Thursday and part of Friday. This book is everything. There's literally everything in this book. Let's see. Just this first page I flipped to. Let's see what it specifically lists. This is about moving some stuff around. Here's a 3 horsepower upright steam engine. So this book is literally anything. These are letters that were written back and forth. Clara was Harold Warp's sister, and this book literally covers about everything. Here, I can flip this around, and I'll just show you some of the pictures here. A kitchen, a case tractor, black glass collection, musical instruments, platform scale, steeples and bells, barber chairs. I mean, literally just whatever. This is literally detailing what they found that week as they were writing these letters back and forth. This book is it's starting to fall apart, so I'm trying to be careful holding it here. This book is out of print. You can get copies on the secondhand market, but they are kind of difficult to find. There is talk of doing another run of this book, but as of right now, it has not been done. So I just picked out a handful of cars and went with that for the other video that we shot there, as well as all those shorts. and then, of course, donated your guys' money to them. Braxton Smokehouse, they weren't open that day when we were there. So, can't tell you for sure. So, anyway, that was kind of it was really busy trying to keep up with what was going on with the carousel. Because there's people going back and forth. They were painting the exterior. They were moving animals over. They were putting animals on. They were test running it. And trying to keep all that stuff halfway in order just took a lot. Trying to get certain people nailed down that did important pieces that we needed to talk to. And just a lot of stuff going on. So that kept us very, very busy. But that was only part of what we did while we were up in Nebraska. I've got another video coming up from the American Automobile Experience. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of the American Automobile Experience or not. It is a museum in Kearney, Nebraska, which is just literally straight north of Minden, about 15 or 20 minutes. And we went there several years ago. It's gone through some changes since then. It's a pretty decent museum. And most of the cars are owned by individual owners. And so it's kind of a fluid display. It's usually changing. You know, some guy may take one car out to drive for a while and put another car in the museum type of thing. I think if I remember correctly from what the guy was telling me, they basically, you pay so much a month to keep your car there as kind of a storage thing, and they operate it as a museum. So it was a very diverse collection, a little bit of everything. They had a Kaiser Darren, they had, of course, GTOs, Trans Ams, fire trucks, delivery trucks, literally kind of run the gamut, about 140 cars. So pretty big selection to check out at the American Auto Experience in Kearney, Nebraska. But there was a reason that we went there, and I was blown away, to say the least. I mean, I've seen a lot of cars here, Hudson Badge. I've seen a lot of cars in my day, been to a lot of car shows, a lot of museums, seen a lot of collections. Green Bay Auto Gallery is kind of the same way. Okay, yeah. I think that's kind of becoming somewhat common. I'm not sure, but I think it kind of is. But the reason we went there, and they are only there at this point for a couple more weeks. They're trying to get the stay extended. But that isn't confirmed yet. But they have 6 of the James Hetfield cars there on display. So that's why we went. We really, really wanted to see the James Hetfield cars. Hey, there's Glenn. Those cars, they've been in the Peterson for years. They actually donated them to the Peterson. They are on some sort of, I don't know, since they're out on a tour, I don't know, but they've been in Kearney, I think. They've been there at least 6 months, maybe a year. And they're trying to get the stay extended. But it was mind-blowing. These are Rick Dorr built cars. They are amazing. There were 2 cars there that I specifically wanted to see, and they were both there. Not all of his cars were there. Like I said, they had 6, and they were spectacular. The primary reason we wanted to go, and we've loved this car for years. Addie loves this car, and the chance to get to see it in person, just being a couple hours away, we had to make it happen. Hey, there's Alec. But they actually have the Voodoo Priest on display. And I've seen 1,000 pictures of the Voodoo Priest. I've seen pictures of the Voodoo Priest from every angle. And nothing does that car justice to seeing it in person. It was that spectacular. So, do you guys know what the Voodoo Priest is, or do you want me to show you a quick screenshot? I did do a quick video there. I didn't spend a lot of time on those cars. I did shoot them for Old Cars Weekly, so there should be a feature coming out in Old Cars, hopefully here soon. I need to get on that and get it sent in. It is primarily going to be a pictorial. I'll have a few paragraphs put together. Eric wants to see a pic. Let me find one real quick. So, like I said, I did do a video there. And we did walk by these cars, but we didn't spend a lot of time on it. But it is spectacular, to say the least. And like I said, pictures, video do not do these cars justice. That's right, Jack. He is an amazing artist. Just to give you an idea of how amazing it is, look at this thing from the back. Like I said, you've got to see him in person. If you ever get the opportunity, you've got to see him in person. The other car that I wanted to see was Slow Burn. Ken from Illinois is here. Slow Burn was also there. They say it was a Glenn Prey car. I sent pictures to Doug. He didn't believe it was a Glenn Prey car, but they have it advertised, or they have it listed as a Glenn Prey car. Yes, it's at Kearney, Glenn, at the American Auto Experience, the museum in Kearney. And that's right, Kevin. Like I said, seeing them in person, it gives you goosebumps seeing them in person. The cars are that spectacular. Slow Burn. Hey, there's Chad W. Based off of a Glenn Prey Auburn Boattail Speedster. So, yeah, pretty spectacular. Fortunately, we were very lucky. Hudson badge. Since I needed to talk to Angelo about a few other things with Old Cars Weekly. And he's like, dude, if you're going to shoot them, see if he'll let you shoot them and do the article on them. So I told him that. So they actually gave me they were somebody with a collection there. They didn't let me have free reign, but they dropped all the ropes, and I got all the way around the cars from all different angles. So I was very fortunate that they let me all the way around the cars. So I did get a ton of great pictures, and super excited about that for the see what we can come up with for Old Cars Weekly. 6 cars, and I probably got 10 or 15 pictures of each. So hopefully it'll be I did get pictures of the insides of them, yes. So Austin, be out there in a couple days again. Yep, it's definitely worth it. Did not go to the copper mill. No, we did not make it there. But regardless, it was a good trip. Was super excited to actually see those cars in person. Can't believe I saw those cars in person. And just amazing. If you're out there, like I said, or even after they move on, who knows what collection they will go to next. But if you ever have the chance, I would highly suggest it. He does have, What the Hay is not there. The Skylark is not there. But there were 6 of them, but not his entire collection. But these cars were absolutely amazing. Like I said, seeing the Voodoo Priest in person was spectacular. Alan's here. So anyway, needless to say, we were pretty excited about that little jaunt as well, and can't wait to see how the spread comes out in the magazine with the shots that we got. So at least I hope they come out okay. But anyway, moving on. Got a full episode going tonight. Glad you guys are here. We haven't even sold anything yet. You guys want to auction something here real quick before we keep moving, or what do we want to do? We got new inventory that nobody's paid to talk about. All kinds of stuff going on right now. Let me get everything regrouped a bit here. Oh man, I just grabbed the auction notepad and some other stuff and moved them, and I just saw the brochure for tonight. Oof. Wow. Okay, we cover that bag up. Gary says sell something. Yeah, we can do that. What the heck? Let's start off with something kind of normal here. Let's, here. Speaking of, here, this is kind of funny. Let's just do this. Let's have an Auburn badge. Speaking of, since we were just in Nebraska, let's sell a plate from the beef state, Nebraska. 1960 beef steak. Something good to start off with. Not a super high dollar piece, just something fun. Since we're talking about the Nebraska trip, 1960 has a sticker for 61 on it. The beef state is actually all stamped in it. It's part of the plate. Black with yellow goldish letters. Standard size, roughly 6x12 plate, I believe. Yep. 12x6, Nebraska, the beef state. Let me get everything rounded up here and ready to go on my end. And who's going to start us off on Nebraska since we're talking about Nebraska? Nobody wants a Nebraska plate. I thought we were all excited about Nebraska. Gary at 8. All right. Let me get this wrote up. Gary at 8. Straight from where we were just at just 65 years ago. As always, we're going 90 seconds. I will tell you when 30 seconds has passed. I will tell you when 60 seconds has passed. The highest bid that I see on my screens at 90 seconds is the winning bidder. All the small stuff shipping is included. However, if it's a small $10 or $15 item, 30 seconds gone, 60 seconds left to go. I will wait till you have a couple things before I ship them because you can't really ship anything for much less than $8 anymore. So, beef, it's what's for dinner. That's exactly right. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, Gary at 8. Ron, 17 as we hit the 1 minute mark. 30 seconds left to go. We need a plate to go with him, Gary. Gary, 18. And that does it. Gary at 18 on the Nebraska plate. Oh, hey, something else. Since we're talking about slow burn, and they said, like I said, they said that was a Glenn Prey car. But Doug didn't think it was, but I don't know. But regardless, it's cool. So since we're talking about Auburn speedsters, Beauty Man got to go make a sandwich. Yep. How about an original Auburn emblem? You guys got to be up for that, right? We love emblems and badges. This is from Auburn Court Duesenberg. This is off a knockoff. This is an original, so they replaced it with a reproduction. On this original, Eric at 30, was that hung up off the plate, Eric? Or are you ready for an Auburn emblem? This is off of a knockoff. I did get it at Auburn Court Duesenberg. I think we've sold maybe one of these. Once in a while, Doug will have one. And so I got one while I was there last time. Emblem. Okay. Well, here it is. This is off of a knockoff of an Auburn. This has some grind marks right here where these are actually riveted on. So they have to grind them off with a little tiny grinder. But it is actually stamped on here. And then they're ground off when they replace them. It is about 3 1/8 in diameter. So this one is not bad. You can still see, all the lettering and everything is all nice and clear in it. It does have dings and dents in it. It's got a whammy over right here. Nothing serious, but like I said, they do reproduce these because they all take some abuse. And even though it doesn't look bad, you're not going to put it on a $750,000 car, with dings and dents in it. So anyway, on the Auburn knockoff badge, off of a knockoff on the wheel, this is just the insert. So kind of a cool piece. Now, Eric at 30, and away we go. Pretty neat piece. I just looked down and seen it laying there. I was like, hey, we're talking about slow burn. Why don't we just do the Auburn badge while we're talking about slow burn? Eric at 30. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. One minute gone. 30 seconds left. Anybody going to challenge Eric, or do you throw a knockout punch out there right out of the gate? We're ticking away. Anybody going to challenge Eric? And that does it. Kevin had a 40 in there. It was just too late. It's a cool piece. There's no doubt about it. Feel like Ric Flair. The Nobody's page. What's going on over there? Let's check it out. Nick out buying more plates. I don't know how you got that many of the same number, but you got a slug of them. Holy cow. Right turn, Clyde. Did you do that, Matt? Yeah, I guess that is your signature. You do some great stuff, dude. I mean, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So when I look at art like that, I was like, man, that's nice. Holy cow. If you guys haven't seen what Matt just threw up when he said he was going to throw something up, check it out. It's cool. That is really great. A few of you have seen it. Pete, and Alan have seen it, so that is pretty cool. That's awesome, Matt. Nice piece. Anyway, what else is going on this week? Petty Jean. Jason put up Petty Jean stuff. Great seeing you guys sharing all your projects and shows and everything on here. So, your piece. So you can't write. So your writing isn't that great, but you can create that because that's pretty talented there. Nice piece, Matt. Appreciate that. Okay. New inventory. I did get one car picked up yesterday. Hudson Badge. Obviously, my week was been bananas. This deal actually started about a month ago. The guy I know got into an estate deal, and he bought several cars out of there. He probably bought 8 or 10. And he said, hey, there's a couple here that I don't want to mess with. So he sent me pictures of them. So I did a deal on on 3 of those on pictures. Went up, and then the guy lives out of state. So a month ago, the guy my buddy that found the deal told me, said, I'll let you know when he's back in town. We came back this week, so I ran up there yesterday, picked up one, paid for the 3 I bought one of them back, bought 3 more on top of the first 3 and a bunch of parts. So now I went up there to pay for 3, get 1, have 2 left. And so I should have 2 to pick up, and now I have 5 to pick up. It's weird car guy math type stuff, I guess. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. I don't get it. Who knows? So that's what happened. But what came home yesterday, 1956 Chevy Bel Air 4-door hardtop. Pretty unique car. No motor or tranny in it. A little rust in the rockers and stuff, and then, of course, the front fenders over the headlights. But overall, not a terrible old car. So we're going to be getting some content put together on that as well. It is back here. I'm going to go up tomorrow or Tuesday, get one more car, and then the guy that does some hauling for me, he can get 2 at a shot. So I'm going to have to send him. I'm going to send him after the next 2 loads, which I got to pay to haul them, but sometimes it's just as easy to do that as me chasing them too. So yeah, I ain't figured out the math on this deal, but it's kind of what happened, I guess. Anyhow, let's touch on the drawing real quick. Like we said, since May was really screwed up, we basically missed like 3 weekends or something. I don't know. And my last couple weeks haven't been much better because in the last 2 weeks, the last 14 days, I've been gone 7 of the last 14 days too. So it's been crazy just not getting things caught up. So, like I said, we're going to extend the May raffle to next week and then start the July raffle a little bit early. So there basically won't be a June raffle. This week only had 1 new entry from Waycamp, so we've got him in the bucket for next week's drawing. Like I said, we'll do a few bonus drawings from some of our friend in Canada stuff that he donated to move it on down the road for him as well. Journeyman Randy stopping by tonight. So anyway, once again, one more time before we give this away next week, the Marks Fire Chief car. This is a smaller toy, but condition is what makes this a home run. This toy is only about 7.5 long. It is a smaller one. But look at the bottom of this. It is friction. It is original paint, original graphics, has the Marks logo right there on the side. Pretty special piece. Whoa, as long as I don't destroy it. It does kind of have the body lines of a Nash and the grill of a Buick, kind of. You can actually, this stuff paints so shiny, you can see right back here where it's got, where they pressed it, it's kind of got the wrinkles in the steel from when they pressed it into shape still. So, really, really great piece. These are all graphics. All original graphics. This has got to be early to mid 50s, 70 plus years old in this condition. Nice piece. So make sure you're in the drawing for next week. Make sure your name is in the big Buick oil can before we start yanking names out of it, because it's a cool piece. Yeah, that's right. A Buick type portholes as well. Time for a hubcap. Doing another grease cap tonight. I believe this is 1930, 1931 era. And based on the size, I would believe that. And what I'm going on is the style of the emblem stamping into it. How do you enter the raffle? Great question, man from the farm. $1 a piece. Hey, Balin Wire stopping by tonight. On Power Tour. Awesome. Mark stopping by. That's all right. We haven't got to tonight's badge yet anyway. You missed a good badge on the auction. Yes, you did miss that. But PayPal, check, money order, PayPal, friends and family, man from the farm. The PayPal information is in the description part of the video. If you get done, click back on that in the text part. It does give you my PayPal information. $5, you're in there 5 times, $10, 10 times, $20, 20 times. Just put on there, raffle with your information. And I will get your name into the big Buick oil can with these other guys that are already in for the month. Just got done with Power Tour, okay? So anyway, thanks for bringing that up. We don't, sometimes I forget some of you guys haven't been on here all the time, but yeah, bucket entry for the raffle. And we do one every month, except we're going to skip June just because of the way things have fallen here lately. But tonight's cap, going back to 1930, 1931 era, 95 years ago, for this Dodge Brothers 8. Now, the reason I'm saying 3031 is when I looked at American Auto Emblems, the website we use for a lot of reference, they use this DB with the 8 in that 3031 window. Based on the size of this cap, it is a little larger than some of the stuff we look at from the teens. This cap is about 3 7/8 across here, so almost 4 inches. And on the back side, we can see the Dodge Brothers 8 stamped in the back. It is internal thread. Eric wants this too. I don't think I've got duplicates on this one, but this is also set up for a larger hub because it's about 2.5 on the hub. Now, we do see this is all the way around here. The hex part of it is tucked in behind the round front, so you can get a hold of it back there to unscrew it. So kind of a neat piece that I believe to be 3031 era Dodge Brothers 8 grease cap. You guys obviously want to buy something, just not this right now. We'll grab something else here. In fact, we got a Dodge cap. You guys want to just do a Dodge cap? It was on a Dodge Brothers mark. The DB was Dodge Brothers, and in 3031 is when they used the big 8 with the DB on their other badging. No, I don't want to sell that. I don't think I got another one. We got a Dodge cap. I'll sell a Dodge cap if you guys want to do a Dodge cap. Just ain't going to be that one. All right, we'll do a Dodge hubcap, not a grease cap. This is early 50s Dodge pickup. Kind of a unique cap, few dings and dents. I did paint the letters in this one just because I kind of like doing some of them. It's okay, Mark. It'll be all right. Sounds great, Scott. Glad you're here for a while. Mike from Texas. Kind of a cute little cap. I think this is like 52, 53 pickup. Like I said, I did paint the letters on it just to kind of make it pop, but a pretty good looking cap. I don't think we've done one of these before. Like I said, it does have dings and dents. You can see some of this right here, whammied there. Does have a nice shine to it. Like I said, I did repaint the letters in it just to make it pop a little bit. This is all stamped in. This is all ornamental. That's all stamped in. The lettering is stamped in. That bead is stamped in. The back of this, a basic metal cap with the chrome cap stamped on top of it. This cap is 9 inches in diameter. Sandbag it. Yeah, you might be able to work some of it out. So, like I said, I found it in a 52 or 53 Dodge pickup, and that's probably what I've probably been in there for its whole life. That's probably what it looked like it came off of. So anyway, on this Dodge cap, where's our bidders at? We'll go ahead and get things ready to roll here. I'm getting ready to start the timer. Let me write this up here real quick. And here we go. Kevin L at 10. Pete, 15. 30 seconds gone. No, this was at a truck in a truck at the yard. I just was out checking some parts and I seen it laying there in the front of the pickup and figured, hey, you guys might dig this. One minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Pete at 15. Eric, 16. Mark Kirk, 25. And that does it. Going to Mark at 25. Kevin got one in right at 130, but it was 24. So we'll mark that one to Mark at 25. Kevin at 27. Heading to Mark's collection. Yeah, that's right, VW. Everybody got excited about a Dodge cap. How about another plate real quick? And then we'll get into the brochure. In fact, I'm going to show you guys another brochure. Actually, we got two brochures, kind of. Let's check out this farm plate. Farm plates are always cool. You guys always like them. Adds kind of a different mix to it, different aura. Being a farm piece, Going back to 1969 and going a little east of here to Kentucky, the Kentucky Farm Plate, 1969. Nice blue with white lettering, some paint wash and things down here in the corners, but overall not a bad looking plate. And once again, this is all stamped in it. None of this is stickers. This is all stamped in the plate. Another good starter type plate, but still with a nice shine. I assume this is probably Logan County. 12x6 F16-226 1969 Kentucky Farm Plate. That's right, it is definitely blue. And here we go. Maybe. Nobody's bidding on it. Maybe there's no Kentucky farmers on here. Matt, 8. Mark, 11. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Alec, 15 as we hit 1 minute. 30 seconds left to go. Alec at 15. Kentucky is 0.2 of a mile away from Gary's farm in Ohio. Well, you better have a Kentucky Farm Plate then. Alec at 15. Mark at 17. And that does it. Mark at 17. Okay, brochure time. I want to show you guys something in brochures. Who remembers this one? Fishing on Woman Lake, Minnesota. 45-minute boat ride from a town of 141 people. Holy cow, you are in the middle of nowhere. You guys remember the 61 DeSoto brochure? Well, I think I've got another one in the newer literature collection. Is anybody interested in this one? Waiting to see if anybody's interested. If not, I'll put it in with the other one. Pete's interested. Should we sell this one? You guys remember checking this thing out? So it does have the dealership stamp on the front of it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? $12 bid. I think I'll put it back with the other one. What do you guys think? What do we want to do? I'm pretty sure that's not 118. 18. That's what I thought. I figured you'd probably correct that one fairly quick, Matt. This is a great looking brochure. Should we go ahead and sell it? Should we go ahead and kick it off on the timer? What do you guys think? Send it. Are we ready to go? It's got to bring more than 18 bucks anyway, I think. All right, here we go. It's live. Matt at 18. We're live. It's on the timer. We're going. Matt at 18. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left. Ron, 25. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. And that does it. Ron at 25. It's a beautiful piece. Okay, let's catch the regular brochure for tonight. Now, I keep telling you guys, every time I open those literature boxes, it's more and more amazement. Now, there's a lot of stuff in there from 70s, 80s, 90s, more current stuff. It's all in there. It was a collection. He was collecting the different eras, the different models, the different manufacturers. So that DeSoto was a 61, John. But there is so much stuff in there that every time I open a box, it's just like, man, more and more and more amazing stuff. We better have a Hudson badge before we even look at this. Going back almost 90 years, 89 years to be exact, for this brochure. Still in an amazing condition. And it's very uniquely done. Once again, the artwork is amazing, to say the least. All these early brochures we look at from the 30s and 40s have been just mind-blowing. Knock your socks off with the detail, the lighting, the thought process that was put into these, the design work, the colors, just blows your mind. On the 1936, you guys brace yourself. I'm going to give you an Auburn badge too, because you guys got to brace yourself for this. The 1936 Terraplane. Look at this thing. Look at the artwork on the front of this brochure. It is insane. This one not for sale. There goes the hearts. The hearts are flowing. Let's check this thing out. It's amazing. When we open this up, inside here, the things that count first in Terraplane. Now, when I first opened this up, I didn't even realize this is how this was set up. Look at just the basic sedan with the clouds in the background against the yellow car. But this part stays as we turn the page. That's right, John. It's crazy cool. More hearts. Look at the dash. The coupe. Buick Man and Joe, the exact same comment. Lots of leg room. Oh, I just seen something else kind of a big deal. Juice brakes in 36. The convertible. Come back here. There we go. Performance that makes the records with economy that saves the dollars. Bodies all of steel. And the world's first safety engineered chassis. The roomiest of all the low-priced cars, too, has more room for baggage. That's right, John. That's why this brochure collection is going to be so much fun for us. You know, if you guys weren't on that night that we backed the truck in with this entire load in and just started grabbing stuff, that Toy Tuesday went an hour. I would highly suggest going back and watching it just to get a glimpse of what's coming. I mean, some of this stuff is going to be complete videos by themselves because this stuff is so cool. Lovely to look at, delightful to drive. A new experience awaits you here. And then on the back, once again, actual specifications. Engine, 88 horsepower, 6-cylinder L head. Bore, 3-inch. Stroke, 5-inch. Piston displacement, 212 cubic inches. I don't think you're going to see bore and stroke in any sales brochures of today. The clutch is oil cushioned single plate type with heat treated cork inserts for smooth engagement and durability. Pretty sure you're not going to see anything like that in a current sales brochure. Steering gear, hourglass worm and sector type. Reduction 1.7 to 1. Timken roller front wheel bearing, heavy ball bearing tie rod. 17-inch steering wheel with natural finger grip. Yeah, they're not putting anything like that in new sales brochures. 99% of the people that read a sales brochure today wouldn't even know what any of that is. But on the back of the Terraplane brochure, it breaks it all down in detail. So there you have current brochure. When you have a word like clutch, yeah, that's true. And that's another good point, John. Sometimes I don't even know where the gas goes. That's right. So there we have another knockout piece, the 1936 Terraplane brochure. Hey, there's Big Rig Brett. That's exactly right, Buick man. Don't drink the contents of the battery. That is exactly what it tells you in today's world. Who's ready to check out tonight's badge? We may have looked at this one, but if we have, it's been a really, really long time. It is an amazing piece. This is one of our early enamel badges that came out of the big collection that we bought several years ago, where we bought hundreds and hundreds of badges. We've looked at a lot of them on here over the years. I seen this one laying over in the corner of the office, and I was like, man, we probably have looked at it, but it's been a really long time. And I think you guys will appreciate it. Brett in New Mexico tonight. This is a statement piece. It is a very difficult one to find. I'm not sure on the exact year. Let's see if I can find it real quick on our American Auto Emblems website real quick, because this is an earlier badge. It is an amazing piece. There again, it's kind of a statement badge. 28 to 34. Well, maybe. It looks slightly different. No, this is earlier. So this is about, this was mid-20s on this particular piece. And it's pretty big, but it's off of a truck, so it is a large one. Almost 4 inches long on this Indiana Motor Trucks badge. This thing is a beauty. Look at this. Addy actually mounted it on its own board. It's 4 inches tip to tip. Burgundy above and below, black in the middle around the Indiana. This one has a little bit of chipping around it. These, where the screws are at, these are factory mounting holes. So there was nothing was added to it. This one was chipped probably from when it was removed from the radiator shell. But this is a great badge. Obviously, Addy felt highly enough about it to put it on its own stained oak block for mounting. But like I said, when it comes to badges, this is definitely a statement piece. These are tough to find. They're, again, big trucks, not that common. Very few of them survived. Finding a badge in this condition, literally right at this thing's 100 years old. This was like 23 up to late 20s is when they used this. So this badge literally right at dead on 100-year-old piece and still looks this good. I told you guys I'm having trouble staying awake tonight. So we'll recap our badge and cap, although we're not selling either one of them. The Dodge Brothers 8 from about 1930 and the mid-20s Indiana motor truck. Yes, it is a food coma for sure. How about some story time? We haven't done story time yet. Let's check out an Impala tonight. Just a couple of pictures of this one. A basic 65 four-door that Dad did in 1981. Oh, hey, look. Whoa, hold up. Big Rig Brett. Supercharged super chat from Big Rig Brett. Big Rig Brett, supercharged. Big Rig Brett out in New Mexico tonight, hitting us with a supercharged super chat. There goes the hearts. Thanks to Brett for hitting us with that on the supercharged super chat tonight. First one of the night, actually. We usually have a few little ones sneaking in there. First one of the night. Thanks, Brett. Huge shout out to Big Rig Brett for tonight's first supercharged super chat. Joe, you have the Indiana motor truck badge? Is that what it was, Joe? I just looked over there and seen that. We got into the Impala and hadn't looked over there for a second. Because if you do, they are great. They are beauties, so. So 1965 Impala four-door that Dad did in 1980. Okay, yeah, so Joe has one of these. Nice. That's a great piece. You know what I'm talking about then, Joe. Basic 65 Impala sedan. So what happened with this car? Bought January 8th, 1981. It was a trade-in at the Buick Olds Cadillac dealership that Dad worked in. Trying to see if there's an odometer statement to give me mileage on this thing. Odometer reading was 4,567, so right over 100,000 miles. And like I said, purchased January 8th, 1981. Not sure. There's no interior pictures, Kevin. I'm guessing it was, but not sure because there's no interior shots of it. Purchase price, $65. Sales tax, $1.95 out the door for $66.95. So what did it need for $65 car in 1981? Service transmission, R&R brake shoes, pack front wheel bearings, tune-up, repair choke, radio speaker, R&R heater controls, removed dash top, probably when he was working on the dash, repaired exhaust. Glenn says, I'll take it. Pete says, I'll take a dozen. Installed seat covers, mountain balance 4 tires, body work and paint, so he did paint it. Overhauled the starter, wash and clean and detail, install side moldings, serviced it, changed oil filter and greased, install spring spacers, repair tail light, repair left rear door. Okay? So, and he did paint that whole car. So let's see what we've got for tickets in here and check some pricing. Four spring spacers, $2.20. One set of brake shoes, $8.84. And body molding kits, $16.50. And those were the aftermarket side moldings that were so common back in the 70s and early 80s. Now, one thing that there is no ticket for, and I was talking to Dad about this, there's no ticket for any paint. But he did paint this whole car. You can't tell, it is pretty shiny in those pictures. But back then, when you're painting the whole car, basically what he did is he gathered up leftover paint that they were going to throw away at the body shop and grabbed everything that was kind of a mid-red and dumped them together, and it was close enough. You know, he painted the whole car, so if it was kind of close to the door jambs on color, nobody really do much difference. So basically that color was whatever the 3 or 4 cans that he came up with that were medium reds, and mixed them all together, and he had paint. April 28th, 1981, in the local newspaper, the Great Bend Tribune. 1965 Chevy Impala, excellent condition, AC, power steering, power brakes, safety inspected. Ad ran from $4.28 to $5.05 for $3.90. And after he did all that work, now money-wise, obviously, he didn't have much money in actual parts. The side molding kit, the spring spacers, insurance for 3 months. He had about $65 in expenses, in actual expenses, and had $67 in the car. So when you figure everything he had in it, and there again, he wasn't a dealer, so he had sales tax on all this stuff and everything. Even when he bought the car, you know, he had about $160 in it, hard money. Obviously, a ton of time, you know, to paint the whole car, do some body work, some other repairs, the heater controls, repair exhaust, and then basic maintenance, service transmission, brake shoes, pack wheel bearings. So, there was quite a bit of labor involved, but not much money overall. And he sold it May 2nd of 1981. So had it for almost 4 months, just doing evenings and weekend work because he was still at the dealership during the day. C80 emblems, Joe, I do not. I don't have anything that big in that window. Sold it May 2nd for $975. So that was a lot of money. That was a pretty good shot in 81. 44 years ago. Now, granted, he had a lot of time in it, but I mean, that was still made his labor and some on that kind of a deal, because that was a lot. That was a pretty good chunk of change in 81 in one shot. So there you have it for story time tonight. The 1965 Impala 4-door sedan in bright red of some sort. But at that point in time, it was a 15-year-old used car. It wasn't a huge deal. Who's ready for the promo model? Another good-looking promo tonight in a very unique color. Obviously, another Chevrolet from the Chevrolet collection that we bought last September. Yes, we're still working on it. A lot of great stuff in here. Tonight, this is a very unique color on this car is what really made it stand out. If you guys don't remember, we went to an auction in September. Each year, the Chevy dealer took home the cars they liked for promo models, put them on the shelves in their house, and they never moved again until they sold the collection last September. 84 promos on the auction. Dad and I ended up with 49. Actually, we had 50. There was one we got for Tractor Mike. So 50 of the 84 promos came home here, and then one went to Tractor Mike from there. So good selection, good times. And tonight's promo in a very interesting color called Sea Aqua, the 1971 Impala Custom Coupe with a 454 in it. And yes, it actually has 454 emblems on it. Now, one reason we definitely know this is a 71, the vents in the trunk. The only year GM used the vents in the trunk and didn't even use them for the full year. You guys can make those out in the trunk lid. Once again, condition is great. The bumpers aren't chipped, broke off. The lights are good. These things never have been exposed to any sort of elements. Always been well cared for. The 454 emblems on here, I don't know if you guys can make them out, are right here along the bottoms of the front fender. I know that's going to be really tough for you to see. There goes lots of hearts. Awesome. All original tires, all original hubcaps. Bottom side, as with most of these, all one piece of molded plastic. This, another one of those that I believe is painted. Yes, there is some metallic in the paint. Now, the molded color on this is very close. But when you look at it right there, I hope you can see the difference between the molded plastic, the bare plastic, and the body. Because this did have a slight metallic to it. They do have that in the paint. So these bodies were painted. The interior and the bottom of it were a slightly different color. They got it close and then painted it their actual color. More fireworks, hearts. You guys are apparently really digging this 71 Impala. So Glenn had a 71 Caprice. But there again, just great stuff. And glad you guys are excited about it. And like I said, we've got a long ways to go in these Chevy promos. They were a great road car, that's for sure, Glenn. Okay, how about something we haven't gotten to in a couple weeks? Classified ads. Classified ads are always a blast. The last couple weeks we've gotten busy and have not gotten to them. We've got a few minutes tonight. Let's go ahead and slide a few classified ads in. From 70 years ago. These ought to be good. December 1955. Yes, Hot Rod Magazine used to have classifieds in it. So let's check out what was for sale in December 1955 in Hot Rod. Okay, lots of stuff here. About 3 or 4 columns of them. No pictures. So these are all text ads. So basically all I'm going to be reading to you is just what these say in these columns. So there are no pictures in any of these ads. So just bear with me. And we'll see what was available in 1955. Sounds good, Joe. Glad you were here tonight. Sell 32 Ford 5-window coupe, 51 Olds engine, 354 rear end, channeled, dropped, overhanging pedals, no interior yet, but running and driving, good rubber, no interior, so it needs finished on a 32 5-window in Oklahoma City. $300. $300 for a 32 5-window with an Olds V8 running and driving with no interior. That's why these things are so much fun. Oh. Some of these don't have prices, so I'm just looking for stuff with prices. So just bear with me here. we talked about the Voodoo Priest. That was a 37. Sell 38 Lincoln 3-window coupe, Columbia rear, 41 Merc mill, good condition throughout, no rust. 38 Lincoln 3-window with a Merc mill and a Columbia butt. Best offer over $150. Sell 30 Ford Roadster, 32 frame, Z channeled hydraulic brakes. Engine is bored with a cam, heads, manifold, new tires, $600 for a Model A Roadster on a 32 frame. Sell 46 custom Plymouth convertible, 53 Chrysler V8, so would have a 331 Hemi, dual carbs, full cam, solid lifters, Glade green lacquer, white top, $2,000. Hey, there's Michael Brown. $2,000 was a ton of money in 1955, so that was probably a heck of a car. 32 Ford half-ton pickup. 4-cylinder, very good condition. So basically a stock 32 pickup. That's right, John. You blew $150 at Costco and probably didn't get anything to amount to anything. Or for slightly more in 1955, I lost my place here. You could have this 32 Ford half-ton pickup truck in good original condition for $250. Want it, 48 Tucker sedan, any condition. Send pictures and price. People were already looking for Tuckers in 1955. Hey, there's Sam. Sell 46 Merc Coupe, 51 Olds engine, fully de-chromed, electric doors, completely new interior, new shocks, new paint, duals undercoated, $800 invested. $800 invested. With a Olds V8, new interior, new paint, $800 invested. Asking $650. Sell 34 Ford Coupe, chopped, Z'd, dropped axle, hydraulics, 286 cubic inch, Edelbrock heads and manifold, Harman Collins cam and ignition, big valves ported and relieved, 105 and a quarter mile on gas. So this is a really hopped up, hot flathead, chopped 34 Coupe, $550, cash only. We talked about that last week, Michael. I'm not really sure. You guys are seeing that on your end, but it's not something I'm seeing on my end, so I'm not real sure about those. I know there was some discussion about it. I think last week was the first week they started popping up, Michael, but I'm not really sure what they're for or what they're about. Sell 32 Ford 5-window coupe, channeled, full race 48 Merc, low miles, must sell, $500. Oh, man. Another 34 3-window, chopped, channeled, 48 Merc engine, 3/4 cam, Lincoln brakes and dash, Zephyr transmission, column shift, radio, plexiglass windows, $275. Customized 40 Merc convertible, 15 coats of green lacquer, wide whites, seat covers, 48 Ford engine, new top, Offenhauser dual intake, a 40 Merc convertible with 15 coats of green lacquer, wide whites, fresh build, $375. Just crazy to think about. I mean, obviously it was a whole different world back then, and just what a dollar was worth to then compared to today is a whole different animal. but still kind of crazy to hear. 36 Ford Coupe, customized hydraulics, column shift, airplane shocks, electric wipers, 39 engine, 40 running gear, voltage regulator, rumble seat. Best offer over $200 for a 36 Coupe with a rumble seat. So crazy to think about those numbers. Just insane. And you got to understand, I mean, most people were probably making, 50 cents an hour in 1955. I don't know what the actual, hourly wage was or average median income was in 1955. But it was obviously an entirely different animal than what it is today as far as what the dollar is worth. But how many coupes and roadsters did we just look at for anywhere from $200 to $600? Just crazy to think about a whole different world out there than what it used to be. But anyway, that pretty much gets through my list tonight. We're wrapping up a little bit early, but in 55, Earl Shy would paint any car for $29.95. So there you go. Exactly. You could paint the whole car for $30. So, you could do, if you were doing it yourself, you could do it for $20 in materials probably. So that's another good way to look at it. Average median income was $3,400 a year. So that means you're making, just under $300 a month. So when those cars are $200, $300, $400, $500, that was a pretty good chunk of change for most people. Even though it sounds crazy, that's kind of where it shakes out to be. So to go spend $500 or $600 a car, or $2,000 on that Plymouth Coupe that was, or Plymouth Roach convertible that was a full build with a Chrysler Hemi in it, that was a fortune. That was over half the average median income is what they wanted for that Plymouth. So it was crazy. But I mean, that's what it is fun. Obviously, you guys love doing old classifieds. That's why we actually just made it a section. Here's Randy, thought it was Saturday. That has a tendency to happen. I know. We're going to give you a Hudson badge anyway. Yeah, that's right, Michael. Those cars were for people with money. If it's been $800, $1,000, $2,000 on a car, that was a ton of money. But there again, it's just a whole different world. But it is fun to go back and look. We always have a blast with it. You guys always like it. Strong back and weak minds. So that's why we do it. That's why we made it a section that we've been working in here regularly. We just haven't gotten to it for a few weeks. So definitely wanted to get that slid back in. I think we'll go ahead and get ready to start winding down. Wow, women, average immediate income for women was only $1,100. Wow. That's crazy because there weren't a lot of women in the workforce yet at that point. They were not part of the workforce yet at that point, really. So that's I had never thought about looking it up from that angle, Brett. But anyway, I think we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap up. We're cutting off a little bit earlier tonight, but that's okay. I'm pretty tired. I need to go let all this food settle. But sounds good. Glad you're here, Michael. Please remember, next week we are going to do the raffle drawing. We will do some extra bonus drawings to distribute some of our friend from Canada's that we lost this week, to distribute some more of his stuff out there to some of you guys. So we'll definitely do that next week. And we'll get another episode built out. We'll have some more fun. And hope you guys can make it back. This week, what's coming up? Video-wise. Oh, we've got an interesting video coming on Friday night. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. That's right, Randy. Some women did keep working after the war, but the war was a big deal to put women to work. It was kind of crazy. You bet, Kenny. Glad you were here. We've got an interesting video coming up Friday night for some weird Mopars. I think they're worth keeping. Are they ever going to be super high dollar cars? No. Do I think that there's going to be some people that need parts for them? Because when you look back at the history of those cars, which is what we do in that video, I think they're worth keeping around, at least for parts, because there's still going to be some of them out there. Yeah, we'll probably just save the rest of it for next week, Brett. And Tuesday night we'll be here. We will do Toy Tuesday this week. Our training group members, we will do that probably Thursday night is what kind of we're shooting for on that. If you're not in that group, but you want to be in that group, get in there. And we're going to keep working through what I do and how I do it. Like I said, so far, most of it has been questions from the guys in the group. And we really haven't started working through the outline yet, but that's okay. That's just as important of it. Bill Disk has found some stuff we've had to discuss to say whether it was or wasn't worth buying. And so a lot of things like that going on in that group, but it's been fun. And I appreciate you guys that are part of it. We're having a lot of fun. Yes, we'll have that. I'll get that video up for members this week for sure. And I may just throw it all the way up. I may just throw it up public so everybody knows. I haven't, or did I get it put together? I don't know. I don't remember if I put it together yet or not. I've got like 20 videos to build, guys. It's all kind of blurring as to what's ready, what isn't. But yes, we did pick the 5th car. And sounds good, Brett. If you guys are so inclined, if we're going to continue doing these sponsorships, it's time to start thinking about next year. That's what makes this thing tick. A couple bucks here and a couple bucks there. And we just donated $500 to them for 5 cars. Plus, and actually my check was $600 because Randy did one on his own. And he re-upped that one this year as well. So it's awesome that couple bucks here and a couple bucks there, when you guys round up on your auction purchases, raffle ticket purchases, things like that, that over the course of the year, we keep that maintained and keep helping that amazing collection. But like I said, it was a crazy week to say the least. I may try to get back up there sometime soon. I've got some other ideas on how to help them. And that's how I feel, John. And they email me some stuff that they have scanned in. Real quick, just to throw it at you guys, they've got, when those cars came in, starting in the 50s, and they were still bringing those cars in up into the 80s, But when they bought those cars, a lot of times it may have a broken lens or a missing piece of trim. Well, they documented all that in these notebooks. I've seen the notebooks. I saw them about a year ago. We spent some time with them, but I just never had a lot of time to spend with them. So I was talking to Will, the director, and I said, Will, why don't we take those records, look at what never got finished, and see if we can finish it. They've got a great car club up there that's heavily involved with the museum. I've got a friend up there who actually lives in Kearney, 20 minutes away, who actually went through the graduated from the automotive restoration program in McPherson. Oh, look, Brett hit us again with another supercharged super chat. Sliding one in right here at the end. Thanks to Brett. Another supercharged super chat. Right before we got ready to bail off, he slid another one in. Thanks to Big Rig Brett. So my friend up there, he said he'd help him out. So I said, why don't we take these notebooks, see what didn't get finished over the years, and do videos on that? Because there's guys out there that may have that little piece of trim or that lens or that emblem sitting on their shelf that they're not using. Maybe we can get them to donate it. but we've got to show them what the collection needs. We've got to put it out there. We've got to ask for the help. And then they've got the car club, or my buddy even in Kearney would go help them put the stuff together. Okay, we got to take this light out, put the lens in it, put it all back together. We got to get clips to put this piece of trim back on. Things like that, just to kind of help finish out Harold Warp's vision for this car collection. And I know we can do it, but we just got to put it out there, and we got to let people know what's going on and what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go with the collection. So one of those books, they actually did scan it in and digitize it. And they emailed that to me so I can start looking at it when I have time, because I have so much time. And then and then maybe we can get something put together like that and do kind of a call to action thing. Hey, can you guys help us out? Let's, if you've got this piece of trim or this emblem or this molding or this lens, help us out. And if you wanted to donate it, we'll get it put on. And I just thought it'd be a fun way to generate more interest in the collection. So like I said, we've got 14 shorts coming up that are pretty cool, and a couple of videos. And if we get back up there, we will do obviously some more videos. The carousel project took a ton of my time. Yeah, no kidding, Randy. Exactly. But we did get it documented. And Will asked, they said, hey, can we shoot a bunch of this? This is all happening right now. We've got it where it's moving. We got there, I don't know, Thursday? Was it Thursday? Everything's kind of blurring together. The mini split for the HVAC system was installed Wednesday afternoon. They were literally painting the enclosure for it while we were there and moving the animals in. So literally years of work with the animals, months and months worth of work of this enclosure, getting the new electric motor in there, getting the HVAC system in. All this was coming together literally right at this time we were there. So I didn't get near the amount of content shot I wanted on cars, but he's like, hey, can we do this? This is happening now. We can document this. We can have it. We can save it. All this, everything coming together on a centerpiece of the museum, all happening right then. So like, sure, we can do it. Not a problem. So that's what we ended up doing. It just took a lot more time than I expected it to. But anyway, we'll see how that all works out. But that's my next idea for Pioneer Village. And hopefully, we keep raising money for them to support their collection. With that, I think we're going to get ready to wind things down. We'll see some of you Tuesday night. We'll find something cool to do for Toy Tuesday. We kind of shook it up on you last week. In fact, Pete brought me a box of goodies. Maybe we'll dig into that when I seen him at Meekum a couple weeks ago. Might be a good time to go through that stuff. And so we'll do some of that Tuesday night. And hopefully I didn't throw anybody off too far with the AC/DC memorabilia last Tuesday night. But it was kind of fun. Shook things around a bit, moved it around, shook it up, and threw you guys a curveball. But we all seem to have fun with it. That's all that matters. We'll get that other content up this week. And like I said, there may be a video tomorrow night too if I get that far. It just depends on how things go between now and then. So with that, what's that? Something messed up in your comment there, Gret. The portable dieter. I'm not sure. Something's. Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured it was a fat finger. So I'll give you just a second to get that, see what we got on that, and then we'll get ready to wind up. So what was it, Brett? Okay, something must be hung up. Anyway, we'll see some of you Tuesday evening for some Toy Tuesday. And if not, we'll catch the rest of you next Sunday night for some more Sunday night interactive Gearhead live chat. Diner? Maybe Diner? I'm not sure. The Diner is leased out to the Braxton's Barbecue. They're open certain times during events and things like that. It was not open while we were there, but I'm not sure if that's where you were going with that, Brett, or what. But anyway, we'll give it just a few more seconds in case Brett's comments kind of hung up in there, and then we're going to go ahead and shut her down. Okay. Glad you enjoyed it, Brett. It was definitely different. Well, I'm sure it will, Randy. All right. Anyway, guys, we're going to wind her down. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the Nobody Show Gearhead Interactive Live Chat. We will see some of you Tuesday night for Toy Tuesday. Great, Kenny. I'm glad he's enjoying it. Awesome. And we will see the membership guys Thursday night. And we'll have some new content coming out this week as well. Everybody have a great week. We'll see some of you, and we hope to see you all right back here next Sunday night, 7:30, same bat time, same bat station, for some more Gearhead Interactive Live Chat. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the show. See you next week.